Stop. Don't scroll. I know the cold you're feeling. Not the cold outside, but the one that settled in your bones seasons ago. There is a word prepared for the one enduring the last night of a winter that has lasted for years, and it arrives for you now. This isn't a feeling of sadness. It's a profound spiritual exhaustion, a weariness that has settled deep into your body, a bone-chilling lethargy that sleep no longer touches. You wake up before the alarm, not rested, but simply aware that another cold grey day has begun. You move as if through a dense fog, and the weight of it feels ancient. This exhaustion has frozen your decisions. Major life choices, the ones that require faith and clarity, are indefinitely postponed. You tell yourself, "I'll decide when things feel clearer," or "I'll move when spring comes." But spring hasn't come, and so you remain in a state of spiritual hibernation, and you can feel the missed opportunities piling up like snowdrifts against a door you can no longer open. And you bring this cold home with you. The temperature in your own house drops when you walk through the door. Your spouse has learned to ask, "How are you?" as a formality, with no real expectation of an answer beyond "fine." Your children, or your grandchildren, feel the emotional distance, a warmth that used to be there, a fire that has died down to embers. The silence at the dinner table feels like a frozen lake, and you are the one who brought the winter inside. In the next few minutes, I am going to show you 3 things. First, I will show you why this final cold feels the most intense, and how the silence you're interpreting as rejection is actually the sound of the ground preparing to break, for the spring God has appointed. Second, I will give you a single Hebrew word that names this specific night before the dawn, a word that acts as a chord to the future. When you hear it, the last years of waiting will be instantly reframed. Third, I will declare 3 names over you that belong only to the one who endures until the morning. And if you leave in the middle of this message, you leave without the sealing. And there is a 4th thing I will place in your hands before this message closes. Something Solomon recorded for the child of God who must endure the ordinary cold day, and that fits into that first grey hour before the dawn. It's not a book to study. It's an instrument to bear the weight of a spiritual winter that has lasted too long. I will come back to this. For now, hold that. The promise God gave you is not dead. It is a seed. It has been buried under a hard, frozen winter, and the enemy wants you to believe that the cold has killed it. But the cold does not kill God's seed. The cold forces the roots to go deeper, to search for a water source that is not on the surface. But before I can show you what is happening underground, in the dark, you need to understand the season you are in from heaven's perspective. If you are here, and you have recognized the cold in your own bones, in your own house, I want you to do one thing, not for me, but for you, as an act of marking your presence before God in this moment. Just write the word present in the comments below. It is a declaration that you are here to receive the word that was prepared for you. And on this very thing, on the feeling of the cold window pane at 4 a.m., on the silence from the other side of the bed, on the calendar page that marks another season past, there is something David experienced and Solomon left recorded, a 2-minute key that fits into your ordinary day, which I will show you later. Keep that in the back of your mind. And if you must leave before the end of this video, that instrument is already waiting for you in the first pinned comment, right below, but I ask you to stay until the end, because without the context that is coming, the key does not work with the same strength in your hand. Before I give you the word God has prepared, I need you to recognize 5 things that are happening to you right now. These are not predictions. They are signs, markers on a map of a territory you have already been traveling through alone in the cold. And if I am right about at least 3 of them, then both you and I will know precisely why you stopped scrolling here today. The first sign is the weariness of the season. It is a weariness in your spirit that feels older than your own body. It's not the tiredness from a long day's work. It's the accumulated weight of a winter that has refused to end. It is the reason you can sleep for 10 hours and wake up feeling like you've been in a fight. What seems like simple burnout is actually the spiritual gravity of a prolonged, cold season. It is your spirit bearing the weight of a promise that is still underground. The second sign is the frozen prayer. This is the sign that your prayers have changed. You have stopped praying with fiery expectation for a miracle, for the sudden breakthrough, for the parting of the sea. Instead, you have started praying merely for endurance. Lord, just help me get through this day. Lord, just give me strength to hold on one more week. What seems like a mature, resigned faith is actually the slow, silent erosion of expectation. It is the sound of a heart protecting itself from one more disappointment. The third sign is in your home. I call it the cold table. It happens when your spouse or your children stop asking how you are with any real expectation in their eyes. They ask as a formality because they already know the one-word answer they will receive. The silence around your dinner table feels like a frozen lake, perfectly still, perfectly cold. What seems like peace to an outsider is, in reality, the complete absence of warmth. You have become so accustomed to the cold inside that you no longer realize you are bringing it into every room you enter. And about that silence at the dinner table, you just recognized, I have already left the instrument waiting for you in the first pinned comment. If you need to leave before the end, it is there. But stay, because the Hebrew name of what's happening to you hasn't been said yet. The fourth sign is the holy envy. It is that quiet, secret pang you feel in your heart when you see someone else celebrating their spring. You see a friend get the promotion, a family member announce the miracle, a testimony in church of a breakthrough, and you are genuinely happy for them. But as soon as the smile leaves your face, a voice inside you whispers to God, "When, Lord? When is it my turn?" What feels like the sin of comparison is actually the cry of a promise that is still alive, buried under the snow. It is proof that your hope is not dead, just dormant. The fifth and final sign is the past marker. There was a specific date on the calendar, a season, an age, or a deadline you had set in your mind as the time for your breakthrough. By Easter, you thought, by the end of the year. When I turn 40, that date has come and gone silently. There was no fanfare, no great collapse, just the quiet turning of a page. What feels like a final damning confirmation of failure is actually God sovereignly dismantling your timeline in order to establish His own. He is removing your landmarks so you will be forced to look for His. If you have recognized yourself in these signs, listen to me very carefully. These 5 things are not symptoms of your final collapse. They are the birth pains of your breakthrough. They are not signs of abandonment. They are the signs of a divine preparation. They are the sound of the ground getting ready to break. Before I show you the instrument that David needed in the cave and Solomon recorded for the ordinary day, I must give you the Hebrew name for what you carry, because the instrument only makes sense after you know the name. And there is a word in Hebrew that defines the exact state you live in, a word that recontextualizes everything I have just described to you in the last few minutes. There is one word in the original Hebrew that changes everything you thought you knew. And what comes now will explain why everything had to happen in this exact order. And to bear the weight of this winter one more night, to carry the name you don't yet know into the next cold dawn without a tool, that is not what Solomon prepared for you. He prepared something else, and that something else is what I am placing in your hands now. This is not theory, it is an instrument. The code of Solomon's wisdom is the instrument Solomon left for the child of God, who must cross the ordinary day without losing what was received in the secret place. When you feel yourself breaking faith just moments before the thaw, because you mistake the final freeze for a permanent winter, you need an instrument to decipher the true signs of the season. When you arrive home and bring the cold in with you, making your family wear another layer against the spiritual winter you carry, you need a way to offer a warmth you don't yet feel. When you stand bracing for more snow instead of with the posture of one who feels the sun coming over the horizon, you need a key to re-anchor your identity before your feet ever touch the cold floor. And if you're feeling right now that this is exactly what you need, and before I even continue, place your thumb now over the link in the first pinned comment. Don't click yet, just place your thumb. Feel the weight of the decision before you make the decision. To decipher the signs of the thaw, you need the right instrument. This code is not a method to do more. It is an instrument to endure more. It doesn't train you. It covers you. It shows you where this spiritual winter is acting upon you before it hardens into a wrong decision. It interrupts the cycle of the cold before it becomes the next grey morning. And the next grey morning arrives sooner than you think, and it comes with 2 seals for your home, not for your performance. The first seal is the ritual of the righteous sleep. It's an audio. You don't read it. You lie down. And what you used to call insomnia, today you'll call unsealed vigil, and you'll learn to seal the night with the right name, in the right order, in the right voice. The second seal is the awakening of clarity, the 7 morning decrees, 7 short phrases, 1 for each morning of the week, so you don't wake up again without identity. So you cross the first hour of the day with the posture of one who has been sent, and not with the posture of one who has been run over. And this hesitation you're feeling right now, it is not doubt about the instrument. It is the spirit of despair that thrives in this spiritual winter, acting inside you at this very moment, doing what it always does, pushing you to close the window and go back to what is familiar. You recognize this pattern. It came in other forms. It was the time to pray and the heavy sleep came. It was the time to open the word and the phone rang with an urgent distraction. It was the time to break the cycle, and a plausible reason to wait one more day appeared. Today it is coming again, and the hesitation you feel now is the final confirmation that you are standing exactly at the point where the turn happens. The one who hesitates here is the one who needs to be here. And that is precisely why this next part exists. You have 7 days to use and feel it. 7 complete days. If in 7 days this instrument has not touched what needs to be touched in you, you return it. No questions, no justification. And the 2 seals, the ritual and the decrees, are yours to keep even if you return it. They are yours with no conditions. But I need to be direct with you. The real risk is not spending less than a Thursday lunch at the diner. The real risk is the next grey morning arriving, and you are still standing there, empty-handed, bracing for more snow. That is the risk that has a face. And it is about that face that I need to speak with you now. And perhaps you're asking yourself a few questions right now, questions that deserve an answer before we go any further. The first is, I've hoped for spring before and was disappointed. Why is this time different? Because before, you may have been interpreting the signs incorrectly. This instrument is not about generating false hope. It's about learning to read the true signs of a seasonal shift, especially the ones that look like winter, but are actually the prelude to the thaw. It teaches you to anchor in God's process, not just a date on your calendar. The second is, my winter has lasted for years. Can a digital guide really melt that much ice? The guide doesn't melt the ice, God does, in His time. The guide is the instrument that keeps you from freezing to death while you wait for the sun. It's the wisdom to build a fire, mend your cloak and keep watch, so that when the dawn comes, you are alive and ready to meet it. The third is, my problem is the long night. Why do I need 7 morning decrees? Because how you face the morning after a long night determines the trajectory of your entire day. The decrees are not for a life without winter. They are the specific weapon to re-anchor your spirit in hope every single morning, pushing back the residue of the cold night and claiming the ground for the day ahead. And still, if you only want the guide, it is sufficient. But the complete house is built with all 3. Several people right here on this channel, men and women who had been feeling that cold window pain at 4 a.m. for months, crossed the first week with the ritual of the righteous sleep and described the 8th morning with the same phrase, I did not wake up in alert. Several people here who had been stuck in a pattern of indecision, postponing major life choices, started using the 2-minute key before their day began and described their new posture as the posture of someone who entered the room knowing the name of what was happening. And several parents here, who would come home and bring the coal to the dinner table, used the decrees in the car before they turned onto their street and described the first week as the first time my spouse did not have to ask if I wanted to talk. Perhaps in 3 hours you will be lying in bed again, feeling the cold seep back into your bones, remembering you saw this video and still did not reach out your hand. Perhaps on the next grey morning, when that familiar spiritual winter settles in before your feet hit the floor, you will think, I knew what it was. I just didn't have the instrument in my hand. Perhaps next Easter, While the family is gathered and celebrating new life, you will look out the window at the first green shoots in the garden and feel nothing but the cold glass against your forehead because you will not have the language to name your own spring. And the hairline of hope keeps receding, with the same alarm clock, with the same cold floor, with the same grey light filtering through the window on Monday morning. The link is in the first pinned comment, pinned for you. Not for everyone, for you. Whoever needs to cross the next grey morning with an instrument in their hand, clicks now. And when you do this, when you open this link, you are not buying a book. You are accepting an instrument that Solomon prepared for your ordinary day. And what you will understand next, when you hear the Hebrew word that is coming, will change how you read everything that has happened until now. The word in the original Hebrew that names the space you are in, that recontextualizes every cold morning and silent night, is a word that sounds like tension, because it is tension. The word is tikvach. Pronounce it with me. A breath for each syllable, tikvach. It is most often translated as hope. But this is a tragically insufficient translation. Tikvach does not mean wishful thinking. The root word means a cord and a rope under an anchor line. It is not passive hope. It is an active, tensile connection to a guaranteed future. It is the thing you hold on to in the storm, the cord that pulls you toward the shore you cannot yet see. The strain is not a sign that it's about to break. The strain is proof you are still connected. This is not just a definition from a dictionary. It is a description of your soul's posture. You have been holding a cord in a long winter, and you were beginning to believe the tension was a sign of God's resistance. It is not. It is the evidence of His promise pulling you forward. And this word, this tikvah, is sealed in the promise God gave through the prophet Jeremiah in chapter 29, verse 11. He says this to a people in their own long winter of exile. "For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end." That final phrase, an expected end, is the word tikvah in the original Hebrew. God is not just promising you a good future. He is promising to give you the cord to that future, right now in the middle of your winter. The future He has for you is so real, it has a tether that reaches all the way back to you, here, on the last night of winter. Your job is not to create the spring. Your job is to hold the cord. To understand this, you must look at David. Not King David on the throne, but David the fugitive, in the cold, damp darkness of the cave of Adullam. He was the anointed king of Israel. The promise of spring was already on his life. But his reality was a desolate winter. He was hunted, hiding in the earth like a seed, surrounded by 400 men who were in distress, in debt, and discontented. David's concrete problem was not Saul. It was the crushing weight of the ordinary cold day. It was the silence between the promise and the fulfillment. The temptation every single day was to believe the cave was the new permanent climate of his life. The temptation was to force the spring, to take matters into his own hands, to use the sword to bring about the kingdom he was promised. Twice he had the chance. Twice his enemy was delivered into his hands. It looked like a door opened by God. But David received a specific kind of wisdom, a wisdom that is forged only in a long winter. He learned to distinguish between a convenient opportunity and God's appointed time. His breakthrough was not learning how to fight better, but how to wait with an active grip. He understood that forcing the thaw would violate the very season God was creating. So in that cave, David did not just endure. He began to build. He took the broken men around him and forged them into the mighty men who would one day rule with him. He used the pressure of the winter to prepare for the spring. He was actively holding the tikvah of his anointing, even when everything he could see and feel screamed that the promise was dead. The real turning point of David's life was not the day he was crowned in Hebron. It was the day in the wilderness he held a piece of Saul's robe in his hand, a tangible piece of his victory, and chose to let it go. In that moment, he proved he trusted the cord of God's promise more than the strength of his own hand. He chose to live by the unseen tikvah, not by the visible opportunity. And what David had to learn through years of cold and darkness, his son Solomon later recorded as a code for the people of God. The wisdom David had to improvise in the cave Solomon made into an instrument, and the instrument Solomon recorded is the same one that is waiting for you now. In the first pinned comment, remember the seed I told you about at the beginning of this message? The one you thought was dead, buried under the frozen ground. This word you just received, tikvah, is the name of the anchor cord tied to that seed, proving it is still alive. The winter is not a sign of death. It is the tension on the cord pulling you toward the thaw. And the instrument Solomon left is the glove that strengthens your grip, so your hands don't slip in these final, coldest hours of the night. And what comes now will take that name and make it your identity. There are 3 names that belong only to the one who endures this last night of winter. But before I give you your names, you must first understand the specific shape of the attack against you, because the enemy does not attack your weakness. He attacks the specific territory of your calling. You are only attacked on top of what you are capable of transforming. The heavier the attack, the more dangerous you are to the cycle that tried to silence you. To endure what comes next, you must recognize the specific terrain of your winter, the ground on which the enemy lays siege to the territory of your calling. Listen and see which of these is you. The first is the guardian of the seed. You are called to build something new, a business, a ministry, a family, a project from the ground up. Your winter is a perpetual lack of resources and visible growth. The ground of your calling remains frozen, and the constant attack is the whisper that the seed God gave you was dead on arrival. The proof he offers is the empty field, the silent season, the unchanging barrenness. The second is the weaver of the lineage. You are called to restore your family line, to be a bridge between generations, to mend what was torn. Your winter is the cold, persistent distance you feel from your spouse, your children, or your grandchildren. The attack is the constant snapping of relational threads. Every time you try to mend one, another breaks. You feel like the very thing you're called to heal is breaking apart in your own hands. The third is the watchman on the wall. You are called to intercede, to hold a spiritual position for your community, your church, or your nation. Your winter is the profound silence from heaven and the unchanging gray horizon. You watch for a dawn that never seems to come, and the attack is the crushing weight of isolation, the feeling that you are watching an empty wall, and that no one, not even God, is watching with you. Upon the territory of your calling, heaven has already sealed 3 names over you. These are not names you earn, they are names you receive. They will carry you through the rest of this year, giving shape and substance to your identity when the winter tries to dissolve you into the gray landscape. The first name is your name of permanence. It is the one who holds the cord. This is who you are in the waiting. You are not defined by the cold, not by the silence, not by the duration of the winter. You are defined by your grip on the tikvah, the cord of hope that anchors you to the coming morning. You are the one whose hands are wrapped around the promise. This is your identity when nothing is happening. The second name is your name of authority. It is the herald of the thaw. This is the spiritual role you carry into the world. You are the one who will first feel the ground soften under your feet. You are the one who will smell the spring on the wind before anyone else sees a single green shoot. You are being prepared to speak of the coming warmth when others can only feel the cold, to be a prophetic voice for the turning of the season. The third name is your name of sending. It is the first fruit of the spring. This is your destiny. You were not created merely to survive the winter. You are being prepared to be the first evidence of the new season. Your breakthrough will not just be for you, it will be a testament to God's faithfulness for all to see. The first apple from a tree everyone else thought was dead. You are feeling the intensity of what is happening right now. That pressure that came when I spoke the first name, that warmth that came when I spoke the third. This is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is the evidence of your capacity to transform. The intensity of the attack is only ever proportional to the power of your turning point. A small feeling means a small turn. A strong feeling means you are on the verge of a strong turn. And the first name, the one who holds the cord, carries a single critical vulnerability that the enemy knows and will use against you in the coming days. The vulnerability of the one who holds the cord is that their hands can grow cold. The one who holds the cord without an instrument is just a man at the end of a rope with frozen hands about to let go. The instrument Solomon left covers this exact vulnerability. It is the glove for the hand that holds the tikveh. The code of Solomon's wisdom is not a theory to study. It is an applied warmth for when the cold of the next grey morning tempts you to release your grip. It is the ritual you perform to bring feeling back into your fingers, to remind you why you are holding on. The link is still waiting for you in the first pinned comment. But now, with the name Tikva and your 3 names of identity sealed in you, it doesn't arrive as just a guide. It arrives as the instrument of your endurance. There are 3 weapons you must receive before I send you. If one of these 3 names hit you harder, write the number below: 1, 2, or 3. But these 3 names are a declaration of war against the climate that has defined you for so long. And the enemy will not let you walk out of this winter without a fight. He will use 3 specific tactics against the names you have just received. You must know them before they arrive. The first tactic is erosion by comparison. He will show you the harvest in everyone else's fields while yours remains covered in snow. He will point to their spring, their new beginning, their answered prayer, and he will whisper, "See, God is moving, but not for you. Your timeline is broken. Your season was missed." He wants to use their testimony to invalidate your waiting. The second tactic is erosion by perception. He will take the holy silence, the space between your yes today and God's manifestation tomorrow, and he will interpret it for you. He will frame the quiet of the season as the cold silence of the Father. He will tell you, if God was really with you, you would feel him. If this message were true, something would have changed by now. He weaponizes the very silence that is meant for your roots to go deeper. The third and most dangerous tactic is erosion by persistence. He knows the darkest and coldest hour of the night is the one just before the dawn. He will wait until you are exhausted, until your hope is worn thin, and he will convince you to go back inside and give up your watch just 1 hour before the sunrise. He will not tempt you with a great sin. He will tempt you with a plausible rest, a reasonable surrender, just moments before the first light breaks the horizon. Against these 3 erosions, you are given 3 weapons. They are not complicated. They are declarations of truth that you must hold in the face of the lie. The first weapon is the decree of the unique season. It is the shield against the poison of comparison. It is the understanding that your soil is being prepared for a different kind of harvest, on a timeline known only to the gardener. When the enemy shows you another's spring, you will declare this: "My timeline is not their timeline. My season is sealed in the hand of my Father." The second weapon is the memory of the last thaw. It is your anchor against the lie that God silences his absence. You must reach back into your own history, to the last time God broke through a winter in your life. The last time he turned a barren field into a harvest. That memory is not just a story, it is a legal precedent. You will declare this: "The God who brought the thaw then is the same God who is working in the silence now." The third weapon is the resistance of the final hour. This is your defense against the temptation to quit just before the turn. It is the wisdom to understand that the deepest cold does not mean the sun has been extinguished. It means the sun is about to rise. When the pressure is at its most intense, you will declare this: "This cold is not the sign of a permanent winter. It is the final pressure before the dawn." And these 3 weapons, sovereignly yours, are a memory. With an instrument, they become a covering. Recognizing the cycle of this spiritual winter, without having the instrument that Solomon left, is like receiving a diagnosis without the treatment. It is waking up to the problem without the remedy on your nightstand. When the next prayer you send up feels like it hits a frozen ceiling, and the silence that answers is deafening, this cycle of despair will ask you to stop praying. You need the instrument before that, not after. When you see a friend or loved one celebrate their long-awaited breakthrough and that familiar cold envy whispers that God has favorites, this cycle will ask you to retreat into bitterness. You need the instrument before that, not after. When the next grey morning arrives before the sun, and the simple thought of getting out from under the blankets feels like a monumental act of war. This cycle will ask you to surrender the day before it begins. You need the instrument then. The recognition without the instrument leaves you where you have always been, knowing the name of the cold, but with empty, frozen hands. The link is still in the first pinned comment, waiting for you with the code, the ritual, and the decrees. And it's for this reason that there is one last obstacle that needs to be named before you can say Amen. There is a final, subtle obstacle that will rise up from inside you, not from the enemy. It is the fear of the unearned spring. It is the voice that says, after all this time in the cold, who am I to receive the warmth? It feels too easy. I should be content with the strength I've gained in the winter. To ask for the spring feels ungrateful. This voice sounds like humility, but it is a sophisticated form of pride. It is the part of you that has grown so accustomed to the struggle that it feels unworthy of the release. But before I release you, there is one last point. I want you to prepare yourself now. Close your eyes, or at least look away from the screen. Place your right hand over your chest, take a deep breath and let the air out slowly. This is no longer a lesson. This is prayer. Father, in the name of Jesus, I surrender the weariness that has accumulated in these last seasons, the bone-chilling cold that sleep could not touch, the lethargy that I called normal, the state of alert I woke up in every morning that I mistook for my personality. I hand over every moment I stood at a cold window pane at 4 a.m., wondering if I was alone. I release it to you now, and I declare that I will not go back. I will not retreat. I will not give up 24 hours before the turning. The intense cold I felt was not a sign of my weakness. It was a sign of proximity to the thaw that is waiting in the next few hours, in the next ordinary grey morning, in the next sunrise. And I receive now the 3 names that have been sealed over me: the one who holds the cord, the herald of the thaw, the first fruit of the spring, not to display them, but to remember them, to cross what is coming with these names in my mouth, in my posture, and in my heart. And before the voice that comes now, I need you to hear something. The intensity of the winter you have endured is not proof that something is wrong with you. It is proof that you are exactly who you have always known you were. Someone carrying a promise so significant that the old cycle had to try to freeze you out. You were not attacked by chance. You were attacked precisely over the territory your identity is destined to transform. The heavier the winter, the more dangerous your spring is to the enemy. The pressure you felt was not a sign of abandonment. It was the sign of proximity, the proximity of the thaw. And that turning is in the next few paragraphs. If this hits you now, right below, I receive the turning. I saw you before anyone else did. I saw you on that winter morning when you touched the cold window pane and watched your own breath hang in the grey air. And still, you got up and faced the day. I saw you pull the heavy blanket tighter, not just for warmth, but for fortitude. I saw every prayer you whispered that you thought hit a frozen ceiling and fell back to the ground. It arrived. I kept every one. You have not been forgotten. I have never lost sight of you. I never gave away your seat at my table. I never forgot the name I have for you. The road you are walking ends here with me. You are profoundly loved. You were never, not for 1 second, abandoned. What you called a frozen ground, I was calling a deep foundation. What you called my silence, I was calling the quiet work of the thaw. And what you called a failed deadline, I was calling the dismantling of your clock to establish my season. Your name is engraved on the palms of my hands, not as a record, but as a memory I carry in every breath of my attention. And what I am about to place in your hands, I placed there before you were born. Go forward. The seat is yours. The pride was never withheld. It was only waiting for the moment you could finally receive it, without arguing whether or not you deserved it. And there is a voice speaking inside you right now, a voice that says, "This isn't for me. This is for someone with greater faith, for someone with more discipline, for someone who deserves it more." I need you to hear this from me right now. You have permission. You have permission to receive what you did not earn. You have permission to be loved without having to perform perfectly. You have permission to take your seat at the table without having to justify why you deserve to be there. You have permission to let the version of you that needed to suffer to feel worthy finally die. Solomon did not prepare this instrument for the one who is already ready. He prepared it for the one who is tired. And the one who is tired is you now. You are committed, you are commissioned, you are sent, you are committed, you are commissioned. You are sent, you are committed, you are commissioned, you are sent. Before I release you, I want you to walk with me to a room you have not yet seen with your physical eyes. Don't force it, just let the image arrive. There is a long table. Light comes from a place you cannot identify, a light with no single source, the way light has no source in a dream. There are people at the table. Some you have loved, some you have not yet met, some you knew before this life. The faces are not strange to you. They feel like family, even the ones you cannot place, and there is a chair near the head of the table, empty. The shape of you is carved into it. The wood remembers you. The seat has been waiting. Solomon is at the head of the table. He was waiting too. You are not creating this scene. You are remembering it. This room has existed since before you arrived in this life. The chair has always been yours. No one has been permitted to sit in it. It was only ever for you. Don't say amen yet. Sit in this for a moment. Feel the weight of what just happened. Breathe in the air of that room. It is your native air. The waiting is over. The cold is over. The silence is over. Now you may say amen. And what you called a frozen ground, which the Father just called a deep foundation, that foundation will be tested. I want you to hear something before you close this video, because there's a phrase the adversary will whisper in your ear in the next 3 hours. I'll name that phrase now, so you don't fall for it. But before the phrase, there is something you need to receive. What was sealed here now will be tested on the next gray morning. And remember the permission you received just moments ago. You have permission for this. You do not need to be ready. You do not need to deserve it any more than you do right now. Solomon did not prepare this for the one who has arrived. He prepared it for the one who is here. The code of Solomon's wisdom is waiting for you in the first pinned comment right below. With the ritual of the righteous sleep and the 7 morning decrees, for less than a coffee and pastry at the bakery, because a herald of the Thor without a covering gets frostbite on the next grey morning, and the adversary is counting on the arrival of that morning. It is not an expense, it is an instrument. And Solomon prepared it for you to cross what is coming with a firm hand, not an empty one, with a 7-day guarantee. The risk is ours, the hand is yours. Click now, while the decree is still alive in your chest. Not tomorrow, not after a shower, not after you talk to someone, because the first person you talk to will have a reasonable opinion that will cost you the instrument. Because he who leaves it for later, leaves it for never. And the adversary already knows this. The phrase is, just rest. The spring can wait 1 more day. He will whisper this when the next grey morning arrives, because that is the exact moment your spiritual winter needs to pull you back under the ice. He won't say give up. He will say just rest. The spring can wait 1 more day, because he knows that just rest. The spring can wait 1 more day is where you have always lost. Today, now, before the next grey morning, not after. Today. And Solomon will sustain you in this. And now the last word of this video. In the next word I bring to this channel, I will speak about what it means to build in the spring without carrying the habits of the winter. How to plant in the thawed ground without the memory of the frost guiding your hand. Whoever heard this word today needs to hear that one in sequence. Keep watch, because what comes next is not a continuation. It is a deepening. And when this happens, and it will happen soon, you will remember this moment. And before you go, think of one specific person. Not many. One. The person whose name just arrived in your mind when I said that. The person who has been silent, faithful, and unseen. The person whose anointing has also been attracting attacks that have no name. Someone who has been coming home carrying a weight that is not theirs. Someone who needs the same sealing you just received. Send this video to them. They are waiting for this word to arrive. And when that person opens this video, they will need what you just received, including the instrument that Solomon left. It may be what opens their cycle too. The link to the code is still in the first pinned comment, waiting just as it waited for you. This is not a favor you do, it is an act of service, and heaven sees it. Comment below, Amen received, and send this video to that specific person who came to mind. It is done. What was delivered here has been delivered. You are not the same person you were when you pressed play. You are profoundly loved. You were never forgotten. The chair is yours, and so it is sealed. The next grey morning can wait 10 more seconds.